The Malphurs Group only supports churches in America, right? Not so fast. Stay tuned and I'll reveal our top secret location on the Church Revitalization Podcast.
Hello, and welcome to the Church Revitalization Podcast, brought to you by the Malphurs Group team, where each week we tackle important, actionable topics to help churches thrive. And now, here's your hosts, Scott Ball and AJ Matthew.
Welcome to the Church Revitalization Podcast. My name is AJ Matthew, and sitting next to me today is our own Danny Laverde. Hey, Danny, welcome.
Hello, thank you.
Well, today, this is a good episode. I'm excited about this. We are coming to you today from none other than Paris, France. I know, how in the world did we get here? Well, to answer the question I posed at the top of the episode, the answer is no. TMG actually helps churches all around the world. And we're really excited to be here because we've entered into a season of our own vision that has been a long time coming. We apply what we preach to our own ministry and established mission and vision and strategies for ourselves several years ago. And part of that is reaching the global church so that it could be healthy in mission, vision, and discipleship. And over the last few years, we've been blessed to begin to see support coming from all over the world, relationships forming from all over the world, and more contacts coming in. Just this month alone, in the month of February 2022, we've had 67 countries listening to this very Church Revitalization podcast that you're listening to today. And that's so exciting to us. So one of those relationships in particular, our good friend Scott Corwin from the International Baptist Church in Berlin led to an invitation for us to speak here in the last few days at the International Baptist Church Convention that was held in Dubrovnik, Croatia. So we're in Paris now to continue a little bit of work while we're here in connecting with some church leaders and talking about church health while we're on the continent of Europe to just expand our reach a little bit more and maximize our time here. And all this was made possible by generous donors to our ministry, which we're so excited about. So I've already introduced Danny to you being on the episode today. Danny was with us back in episode 74 talking about transforming the church in Europe. So if you'd like to hear more about that after this episode, go back and check that one out because that's really great too. So Danny, welcome back to the podcast. Danny, talk to us today about really how we're employing you as a part of the strategy in the ministry to be able to manage the vastness of Europe in culture, in geography, and even in language, and how you're helping our team maximize and multiply the ministry that we're doing here.
Yes, so basically what I do is connection. Right now it's a lot of relationship. It's really relational. Building that trust because the Malphurs Group is not so known. Even the name Obre Malphurs makes like people like question mark in their eyes.
What is a Malphurs? We were asked this week in Croatia, what is a Malphurs?
Yeah.
So
exactly. So the thing that I'm trying to build like the credential that we need in Europe to be able to advance that. So it's a lot of communication back and forth on different platforms like LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram. So that's part of what I do. And then of course like there is the French. I try to develop that part of the resource we have to translate them and make sure they are properly done.
Yeah, great point. Danny has already worked on translation of a lot of our printed materials into the French language, which we can't let you go without mentioning this. French is just one, in addition to English, which you've already revealed. How many languages can you really help us with here in Europe?
French, Italian, Swedish, and English.
So you can see why we're happy to have Danny on the team, because in one man he does the work of five. So that's a really great thing that's happening as we've expanded our team. Danny, talk to us also about the challenges of managing relationships across all of the cultures that we experience on the continent here.
Yeah, I mean, one thing that is very difficult is when you don't know the culture. Because like, even though we have amazing resources at the Malphurs, the hard part is how to contextualize that part with whatever country or even like cities that is looking for help and desire help. And also like we can see that if it is not done properly, it can be really like detrimental for the relationship, because like again, like different things in the culture can very affect.
Could offend even. We
Exactly.
don't. We're not here to offend. We're here to help.
Exactly. We are here to help, and that's the thing that is part of like why I really want to begin with the relationship. So as soon as we have a relationship, okay, let's talk. You know me. You know, I talk. You know my background. You know I'm a French guy, and then maybe I'm not like that. So that's the thing. That's where we can find like the right middle.
Yeah,
And from that point, then we can start building.
that's right.
And then so the thing that I've been like really like reflecting on and thinking through, because rushing in maybe it's not what they want.
Mhm.
They want like, hey, take it easy. Then.
Right.
So I mean, and that's the thing. Like if we work with a different culture like Germany, they don't want me to be like that. They want me like, okay, what's the point? Why you're here? Like, and then that's something that we have to really consider when we connect or contact pastors, because it's not only a barrier of language, it's a barrier of culture
Mhm.
that we have to cross. And that's, I mean, it's hard and it takes time. So that's why for me, like, it's very important that the people listening to us understand, like, it's not something that is done in 5 minutes. We have met this weekend.
Mhm.
Many missionaries have been there like 20 years in different nations and
Yeah.
still having a hard time with the cultural part. So I think that that's what we need to consider. Like, okay, we're not in a hurry. We need to learn and how to contextualize the Malthus resource that would be actually beneficial for them to
Yeah.
have.
Absolutely right. That and that's what we've experienced a lot this weekend as well. Is we've tried to take the posture of listening and learning. In addition to being there to teach, we're really trying to take in and hear from the leaders here what's really happening and how we can contextualize our material. We know we have sound principles, but they've got to be adapted. And so it's not the same for us to find Americans that simply know languages. We need people that understand cultures because, again, it's all about relationships. So, yeah, we're so thankful for the work that you're doing here on our behalf.
Thank you.
So all of this to say, and I've already mentioned this, we're here because of generous donors to the Malthus Group. If you are interested in supporting the church internationally, helping us help leaders in the church to have their churches thrive, to be on mission in the Great Commission, making and maturing disciples of Jesus, to have structure to their ministry, to have their sights set on a vision to reach the people around them. We've dealt with a lot of international churches this week, but there's also the churches in the present culture and language, the native churches to all of these countries that need this help as well. And so we're excited to be really finally leaving North America and actually doing the work abroad. And we really need you to partner with us. This trip was made possible. Our support for Danny is made possible through donors and the work that he'll be doing on our behalf here. And we already have more trips lined up. We're going to be in Bangkok later this year. It looks like we'll be back in Germany this summer. So there's a lot of work coming up and we need your help. So we would appreciate it if you would consider that and pray about it. You can find out more about supporting us at the donor level at malthusgroup.com/donate. There's some information there, and there's also links that you can make a contribution, either a one-time or a recurring contribution. So thanks for being with us this week on the Church Revitalization Podcast. This has been episode 133, so you can read today's notes about what we've said at malthusgroup.com/133, and we are so excited that you're with us. One last thing that I forgot to mention, if you're used to seeing that other guy on the podcast, he's been sitting right back there. What are you doing back there? For crying out.
Cafe au lait.
Oh boy, we can't take him anywhere. Thanks for being with us. If you aren't watching this on YouTube, it's worth it just for the last 30 seconds. So head over to our YouTube channel, Malthus Group, searchable on YouTube, and you can see the video version of this episode. We love you guys. Thanks.